Good morning, good afternoon, good day, each and everybody that's out there. This is Ed Runamba with the Ed Travels COVID-19 update today for April 25th, 2020. I'm coming to you from Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu province in the Philippines. Went from doing it almost every day to, I do it every couple of days. Simply because I want more quality than quantity, and it's developing so fast that I have to try to stay on top of this thing. So, I apologize for that. This is it's astounding the rate that this virus is spreading, especially in places like the United States. So I'm going to start out here with the numbers. Worldwide, over 2.8 million confirmed cases, with 703 approximate confirmed deaths. Almost 100, creeping up on 200,000 deaths worldwide. The United States, 925,000 confirmed cases, getting to 1 million a lot quicker than I thought it would. Also, over 52,000 deaths. Here in the Philippines, we're at 7,294 confirmed cases with 494 deaths. And again, like I said before, I changed the way that I did the numbers, not so much reading the whole number out, but giving an approximate idea of what they are, because that's, at very best, that's what they are. There's so many factors that are involved in coming up with super accurate cases that I don't even try to do that anymore. I just try to give you an idea. All right, now let's go right into the meat of it here as it pertains to me in Cebu City. Well, in Lapu-Lapu Metro Cebu. Cebu has had basically an explosion of cases. Went from 24 to 63 to 84 to 150 something to 173. Now it's at 411 as of 4 p.m. this afternoon. 123 of those cases, I believe, are in Cebu City Jail. So you can understand that type of environment, how that happens. Lapu-Lapu is at 30 confirmed cases, which is up from, it was like 12, then it went up to 18, then it went up to 20, and then in one night it went up to 30. And that hits home because right here in Abuno, Pajak, in this barangay last night was the first case, confirmed case right here in this neighborhood. 24-year-old male, that's all I know. So that kind of brings it home. But Cebu City is, the mayor came out of Cebu City and announced an extension of the enhanced community quarantine until May 15th for now. So everything stays in place, still mass testing. And then the mayor of Lapu-Lapu initially came out and said, followed suit with Cebu City, but then he comes out and he sort of changes it and said, okay, we're going to be under, I'm going to extend it, but until further notice. Those were his words, until further notice. So I guess he has his reasons for doing that. I can sort of understand why. And another big story is up in Luzon. A couple days ago, President Duterte came out, 8 a.m. press conference, and said, hey, I'm going to extend this until May 15th for the hardest hit, at-risk, high infection areas in Luzon, in that whole Metro Manila area, all of that encompasses. I'm not going to try to act like an expert on it, but that whole area that's been under for the longest time. But he also identified some areas that weren't quite at risk, and then they have more of a general community quarantine where, the measures are less. And I'm not going to go into every measure, but, a little more leeway, more stores. You don't have to do the odd, even thing when it comes to shopping. Odd days. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday type thing. Everybody can go as long as they have a quarantine, almost like the way it was before they instituted the enhanced community quarantine. But he did that, and he named places all over the country. Some were to remain, some were going to be eased, but at the end of the day, he sort of left it up to the local governments. Speaking of local governments, I saw with my own eyes that, you know, some of the barangay are handing out rice and sardines and things of that nature, trying to do the little bit that they can. And I'm starting to notice more and more violators. And the Filipino National Police are not playing. If you violate the curfew, drinking in public, whatever it is, social distancing, no mask, they will arrest you. And then they're going to put your picture up on the internet, on Facebook, on the websites, and say, hey, this person was caught here. They violated this, and I'm not quite sure what happens, but they detain you. So unlike the United States, where people are getting other people sick because they have the freedom, because for 2 weeks they were forced to be home and now they can't take it anymore. Here in the Philippines, for the most part, people are abiding by it, social distancing. When I went to the ATM the other day, hey, basically 3 feet apart. You go in, use the ATM, they wipe it down, then you go. Then they wipe it down, then the next person goes. I mean, that type of thing. So people here are pretty much sticking with it, even though people are getting restless. I can't say that. There are more and more arrests. In a very welcome, and I had to post this just so you can see it, but this is a picture of Gwendolyn Garcia. She is the governor of Cebu, the entire province, and she says in this thing that she is going to put people over businesses because she's under so much pressure to reopen parts of Cebu. Cebu is right, like Cebu, Davao down in the south, and then Manila, Davao, Cebu. Cebu is right in number 3 from what I understand as far as economic powers in the Philippines. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to correct me if that's not right, but that's what I was told. And so she's under a tremendous amount of pressure to open it. But she said today, I'm going to stand on people before business, which is a stark contradiction to the United States. I'm going to get to that. Again, social distancing. Let's talk about the difference between the Philippines, you can see here, and the United States that you can see here. Entitlement, arrogance. And then these are the same people that endanger their lives, but then turn right around and are going to be the first ones at the hospital. And I say to you again, if you go out and you endanger everybody else's life, don't run to the hospital. Don't. And if you do, you should be put at the back of the line for just being stupid enough and arrogant enough and disrespectful enough and careless enough to put other people at risk. That's it. I don't care if you like it. Leave it in the comments. I really don't give a shit. Because that's what it is. It's all about you. But that comes from the top. I'm going to touch on that as well. Because there are consequences to your actions. Look at Kentucky. Kentucky, oh, freedom, you know, give me liberty or give me death. Patrick Henry. You know they gave him death. So if you're holding that sign up, give me liberty or give me death, that did not end well. That did not end well for him. Just saying. But there are consequences to your actions. The choices you make dictate the lives that you live. This is a mantra that I live by. If you disregard what the medical experts are telling you, then be prepared to deal with the consequences, which include death. So your trip to Walmart, your trip to the store, your trip to Starbucks, you know, getting your hair done, getting all of that done, and you're risking death. If that's important to you, more power to you. And as Charles Darwin said, hey, people, relax, sit back and let them sort themselves out. Survival of the fittest. Tired of talking to you about it. You make your own decisions. You live with those consequences. But unfortunately, you put a lot of people at risk. Now, President Donald Trump stood up at his, and okay, before I even talk about that, let me give you this caveat. Anybody who's watched any of my videos knows that I go out of my way to stay anti-political. Okay? This is not a conservative or liberal statement. This is not pro-Trump. It's not against Trump. People know how I feel about it. I'm going to keep it real. Not a big fan. But that's not what this is about. This is about common sense. Common sense. And common sense isn't always common. Donald Trump, during his briefing, after a gentleman from Health and Human Services spoke about how COVID-19 droplets on surfaces are affected by UV light, heat, and disinfectants, took it upon himself to ramble incoherently and out loud about the possibility of injecting high power light or UV light on the skin or inside the human body to kill the virus, number one. But number two, he took it to a new level of stupidity by suggesting that if people were to ingest or inject a disinfectant, that it would kill it in minutes. In his words, to paraphrase, oh, it would just do a number on the lungs and just clean you out. Now, whether you're a diehard Trump supporter or whether you don't like the man or whether you're an independent, that is one of the stupid fucking things I've ever heard in my entire life. Even a child knows not to inject yourself with a disinfectant. You don't go underneath your sink and grab the Lysol and the Pine Sol and put it in a freaking syringe and inject yourself. And I think what's truly sad, number one, is that it comes from the President of the United States. That's shameful. Number two, that no one around him, maybe somebody did, but no one around him could have convinced him that that's not the brightest thing to do. But thirdly, that you actually had people who believed it. I read a story today in the New York Post, and I know they can be a little sensational. I didn't even share it on my timeline, but I read it. But it said that the poison control got calls from at least 300 people that were asking, hey, can I really ingest it? That is terrifying to me. That's freaking terrifying to me. That a rational human being. And on that note, I will say this. What Donald Trump did was irresponsible, irrational, incorrect, and dangerous. And then today, to add insult to injury, he said he was merely being sarcastic. So it is fucking funny to you that 52,000 Americans have lost their lives to this virus, that this is a time for fucking levity. Are you serious? And to all of those kiss asses that are around him that sit back and support this. And I have to say this. I actually asked someone to give me a valid, cohesive reason why what he said wasn't reckless. And I have to say, this gentleman stepped up to the plate, and this is what he sent me. Now, I want you to look at this, and it is a list of different substances, household, industrial cleaners, that have ingredients that are found in one form or another in vaccines. So basically, his argument is that because they're found in vaccines, that particular disinfectant compound itself can be used as a vaccine. Wrong. It's astounding to me that someone with any monicum of intelligence would try to make an argument like that. Like, that's absolutely rational. That I have an industrial compound that contains one element that's found in a vaccine. Therefore, you can use it as a vaccine. Ask the couple out in Arizona who read on the label of aquarium cleaner that the hydrochloro, whatever that malaria medication was that Donald Trump said could cure it. Once they read that that was part of that, they took it. The man died. The woman was in intensive care. Now, at the end of the day, it's up to you. At the end of the day, it's up to you. So don't blame that. No, you can't blame the president for your stupidity. So that's on you. But it's a shame that in America, it's supposedly one of the most advanced countries in the world, that not only did the makers of Lysol and Clorox and all of these disinfectants have to come out, the CDC, the National Health Organization, had to come out and say, don't inject yourself with disinfectant. They had to tell the public that. That is shameful. How dense, obtuse, and just downright fucking stupid are you to even think that that's a viable thing to do? My God, I mean, I just can't. Woo. Again, common sense ain't common, man. You know, I just had to touch on that because things are already difficult. And one thing that makes people even more anxious and more desperate is when they can't get the truth. When you look to your leaders for help and they don't give it to you. At times of stress, it brings out sometimes the worst in people. And you need truth, you need honesty, you need consistency. And America just ain't getting it. I don't give a damn what side of the aisle you're on. And personally, I'm going to tell you this. If you, whether you are a liberal or a conservative, you are a human being that tells me that the suggestion of you ingesting, injecting, or otherwise consuming a disinfectant makes sense, unsubscribe from my channel and don't ever talk to me again. Because you're stupid and you're an idiot for believing that. Come on, people. We can do better. This COVID virus, no one asked for it. We're all dealing with it in our own way. Here in the Philippines, people are working all over the world. There's not a place in this world that this virus hasn't touched. So I'm just going to ask you to use common sense. Stay patient. I've always said that this is a marathon, not a sprint. We can make it through this together. But the thing is, you've got to follow the guidelines of the people that were trained to do this. I don't want to hear about your conspiracy theories. I don't want to hear about your cockamamie, whatever it is that's going to do it. Until we get some sort of handle on this, you got to do your part. Just do your part. Please. Click on the subscribe, the bell icon button, the bell, click on the bell so you can get, notified whenever I post a new video. And please be safe. Don't drink any disinfectant. Please. Can't believe I have to say that. But try to hang in there. Stay home, stay safe, make good decisions. This is Edwin Namba with Ed Travels. Day in the Flow. I took the lead travel blog. Just saying, please use your common sense. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Namaste.